mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Rising like a shimmering mirage from the arid desert is Las Vegas, America's very own version of Gomorrah. It is a city that naturally plays host to countless conventions. One of the most unusual is held once a year at the world-famous Sahara Hotel, where a macho crowd of war veterans, would-be Rambos, and aspiring mercenaries meet for the annual Soldier of Fortune convention. Camp followers keep the troops well entertained. Here, the famous porno star Sika and penthouse centerfold Beau inspire the men with their own version of basic training. The latest techniques in hand-to-hand combat are demonstrated. Part of the annual meet is the ever-popular gun show. Here, for a price, every conceivable weapon can be bought, not only by the soldiers of fortune, but by anyone right off the street. Despite protests by some to stop this questionable trade, most Americans deem it a cherished right enshrined in the U.S. Constitution, which says, after all, that the people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. On a desert range just on the outskirts of Las Vegas, gun dealers and manufacturers show off a vast assortment of available weaponry. And here also, the conventioneers can display their skill in trade. To practice their marksmanship and assault techniques, authentic battlefields are recreated, where terrorist attacks and rescue missions are dramatically staged. The high point of the annual convention is always the so-called firepower show, when the war games come quite close to resembling the real thing. Christmas time in America, and the streets of small towns and big cities alike are magically transformed. stores and boutiques tempt shoppers with an endless display of gifts. And for most people, the true magic of Christmas is embodied by Santa Claus, that eternal symbol of happiness and joy. Here in the state of South Carolina, however, a fundamentalist church group doesn't quite see it the same way.
Are we here to praise the Lord? Or are we here to unwrap presents? I ask
This
you.
congregation accuses Santa Claus of forcing people deep into debt with an orgy of gifts and blame him for the corruption of Christmas.
Here, in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, the Lord tells us not to look for things of this earth. But does anybody listen at Christmas time? Is the world, are we thinking of Jesus Christ our Savior? Or are we thinking of Him? Santa Claus.
Each Christmas, parishioners turn their church into a courtroom and place Santa on trial for his sins.
Holy day. Well, let me warn you, brothers and sisters. This jolly old man in his red suit and white whiskers is really the devil in disguise. Lucifer, the father of lies. This is not Santa Claus. It is Satan Claus. Now what are we to do?
Hang a biscuit! Hang him! Hang him!
Christian soldiers, what are we to do? What are we to do?
In a ritual dating back to the days of the ancient witch hunts, Santa is dragged through the church and into the graveyard by an angry mob in pious determination.
Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell!
Hell has spawned you, Satan, and to hell we return you.
While elsewhere in the world, people welcome Santa into their hearts, here in the Carolinas, these holy truth evangelists damn him to hell.
Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it! Send it back to hell! Burn it! Burn it!
This is New York, the city of a million opportunities. Here, people of all kinds come to chase the American dream of success. Sadly, there are many who have not been able to find theirs. These unfortunates survive and get by as best they can. Panhandling and begging have become an everyday fact of life. And many New Yorkers, with charity in their hearts, are quite ready to give to those who appear most in need. This is Broadway, the heart of the American theater. Here among the great stages and theatrical workshops is also a very unusual school, organized and run by a one-time classical drama coach.
Forget that one. How you doing? Morning. And one for you.
This school, aptly named the American Institute of Charitable Appeals, offers a 2-week course in the skills and techniques of begging for a living on the street.
Morning and welcome. Are you ready for cash? Good. Over the next 2 weeks, I shall share with you the methods and psychological techniques necessary to relieve those poor, guilt-ridden souls of cash. All right, welcome to our American Institute of Charitable Appeals.
The course instruction begins with exercises in creative self-expression.
Cut it out, good.
I love you. I love you.
The students practice the art of the great theatrical drama coaches such as Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler, and Stanislavski. They are taught to get in touch with their inner being.
Very important part of this business is props and wardrobe, okay? Now, for example, I think you'd be good with crushes. All right? Now, try these on for size.
Through role-playing and method acting skills, students create the street personas that will appear most in need of charity.
Make up a name for yourself, get into character. The name of the game is money, folks. Listen up. This is a great example of getting money from the mark. All this trick in the book, okay?
Do we close our eyes or what?
Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Don't goose me with this cane. You have a comb?
This one here.
Yeah, right. Comb yourself up. Comb yourself up. It always works. The foreigner, you know. The bloke lost in downtown Manhattan. Port Authority.
I'm trying to make my way back to London.
Exactly. You'll be a vet. Yeah, you'll be a vet. Okay, I'll just sling this back. Okay. Try that on. Okay, try that on.
I am a Vietnam veteran. I have a wooden leg. I risked my life for you.
An important part of the course is actual field training, when students take their impersonations onto the street and put them to the final test.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you help me, please? I am a Vietnam veteran. Please. Oh, God bless you. I am a Vietnam veteran. I am a Vietnam veteran. I am a Vietnam veteran. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, God bless you. 11 cents. You're a sport. Thank you, asshole.
Street performance is carefully evaluated and graded, based on originality and financial success.
Excuse me, I wonder if you could help me at all. I'm trying to get the money for a ticket back to London, England. I'm stranded here in New York. Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, madam. I wonder if you could help me at all. I'm trying to raise the money for a ticket back to London, England. Stranded here in New York. I have no money. I was robbed the other day in the park, and I'm trying to get the money for an air ticket back to London, England. If you could just help out, a small donation, anything at all, please. Could you help me, please? Thank you very much. Thank you.
With some graduates actually making hundreds of tax-free dollars a week, this school should certainly have no difficulty in taking its place among the better institutions of learning. America, in fact, has thousands of universities where students come not only for higher education, but also to broaden their contacts and social life. School activities revolve around numerous fraternities and sororities. New students are naturally always eager to join. Often, to do so, they must undergo a period of initiation, or hazing, as it is called. In Pennsylvania, the Sigma Phi Alpha sorority requires a rather offbeat test of character. Pledges wishing to join this prestigious sisterhood must pay a visit to the local horse farm, where they are forced to submit to the demands of their sponsoring sisters. Total obedience and the willingness to undergo a little humiliation are just some of the requirements for acceptance into sorority Sigma Phi Alpha. Bravery is also put to the test with the traditional virgin sacrifice. The girls are tied up and must suffer hungry stallions nibbling on their oats.
Get on your pony. All right. Get on your pony. Oh, you're riding high. Stay in the saddle. Stay in the saddle.
Back on campus, the Sisters of Sigma Phi Alpha regroup at the sorority house. It's time to celebrate. Champagne, music, and dance mark the occasion. All that remains now for the three pledges to become full-fledged sisters is one final test. The challenge has been for the girls to convince a fraternity brother to participate in the ultimate hazing ritual. Last, the initiation is complete, and the girls are now officially Sisters of Sigma Phi Alpha. Cheered on by fraternity brothers, they are at last permitted to indulge their amorous instincts. And the party goes on, here and at institutions of higher learning all across America.
Thank you very much for coming down tonight. Hope you enjoy yourselves.
This is Nashville, Tennessee, America's center of country music, good old boys, and countless honky-tonk bars. Here, every night, the locals gather to forget the troubles of the day gone by. They come to dance and to listen to their favorite country songs. And naturally, of course, drinking is a way of life, and the beer and whiskey freely flow. This is also a place where country manhood is easily put to the test. The loser is quickly taken away. The winner enjoys a brief moment of triumph until, in turn, he is challenged by the next contender. The fair fighting rules of the Marquis of Queensberry certainly have no place here in this beer-soaked honky-tonk. Inevitably, the evening escalates into one gigantic free-for-all. The brawl continues until only one of the good old boys is left standing. He'll be the hero for the night, and he'll get the girls until tomorrow, when the contest begins all over again. America has always been captivated by the traditions of the East. The ancient martial art of Kung Fu, the art of self-discipline and self-defense, has for years gained enormous success and many followers. Now included among them are the elderly. Tired of being vulnerable and victimized, these senior citizens are determined to shatter the stereotype that they are easy prey.
One, two, three, four.
Punch into the face. Yes, punch into the face.
Finger attack to the eye.
In addition to conventional punching and kicking techniques, they are instructed in the use of the lethal weapons of the infamous ninja warriors.
This is for your elbow. This is for the flat on your shoulder. This is for your eye or your throat.
Nothing will hold them back as they are encouraged to reach their true potential and strength.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay, go to cue.
Even the deadly ninja star, highly illegal yet also highly effective, is one of the weapons they learn to handle.
Third key, the ring finger, the middle finger or pinky.
Improvisation is essential to the art of Kung Fu. Everyday objects like umbrellas and keys can be turned into effective instruments of death.
Good.
Here, the seniors prepare for the most important part of their training. A series of carefully staged confrontations on the street. It is here they will learn to deal with the unexpected and conquer their fears of the city at night.
Hey, check out Grandpa.
Hey, Pops. Where you going, Pops?
Bingo?
Got any money?
You got that kid, look at fucking old fart, lousy kid!
Check this out over here.
I think so too.
I think we ought to get him a birthday present.
I think trains. I think trains.
Yo, where you going? Coming back from bingo or something?
No, man.
Give me that money.
Give me the money, old man. I want it. Give me the money. I'll show you what I have, all right.
Elsewhere in the city, however, all is not make-believe. The downtown areas are gritty and real, a world of sleazy entertainment and drugs. The police try their best to hold back the tide of crime washing over the streets, and the nights become an endless scene of street patrols, stakeouts, and crack busts. These downtown drug wars have left many other neighborhoods with reduced police protection, and they in turn have come to rely on vigilante groups for their security.
Yo, listen up, guys. You know why we're here. This is our fucking neighborhood.
Small gangs of teens have taken it upon themselves to play the part of neighborhood cops.
There you go. Let's see. Weapon check.
products of the mean city streets, they are quite familiar with weapons and self-defense. This group, calling itself the Saviors, is a welcome sight to the neighborhood. Their tactic is to sweep the street for potential trouble, and they display little patience for those invading their turf.
Let him go, Joe. Let him go. Let him go. Take your shit and walk out of here. Go. Get the fuck out of here.
The local subway is an important stretch of their nightly patrol.
I take the cake, but you can't get a crumb from double edit or very ultimate.
What are these fucking punks? What is this shit?
Hey, shut that shit! Shut up!
Shut the radio. You don't take stop. The radio, all right?
Just for that, take it.
Some feel the teens use their so-called crime patrol as an excuse for releasing aggressions. Many of their confrontations are racially motivated, and blacks are often targeted on the slightest pretext. From time to time, the patrols do encounter petty crimes in progress, such as this attempted purse snatching.
I like to do that little boys. Get over there. Get back.
I'll meet him outside. I'll meet him outside. Take it outside.
Go.
In a case like this, there are no arrests, no lawyers, no courts, no witnesses.
No. What are you doing? Take your bag. Put the fucking bag here, lady. Take your bag. Take your bag.
The Savior's brand of justice is quick and direct.
Just keep him up. Keep him up.
Perhaps the line between vigilante and criminal is a thin one. In the midst of a crime war, however, Americans have to take sides, and usually they'll choose the lesser of two evils.
There you piece of shit. Here's your friend, huh? Here's your friend. Here's your friend.
You like it? You fucking niggas stay out of our fucking neighborhood now, huh? Let's go. Let's roll.
The business of America is business, and Wall Street is the place where it all happens. Here, dreamers come to seek the money for new ideas and products they believe will change the world. This is the New York Stock Exchange. Here, any day, a great new industry may emerge, making rich men out of poor. All it takes is one simple idea. The Thomas Edison Museum pays homage to such ideas. Inventions that changed the face of our world and established a great fortune for their creator.
All you do is start to sing.
And today, in workshops across the country, a new breed of inventors seeks that one idea, that one product that will change the world once again.
You can scoop up all the leaves and the trash without ever touching any objectionable or poisonous material. We should sell a few million of these this year. We just rake with the product, and then when you rake with them, you just turn this around, and then you actually pick up and dispose of them.
Foreign inventors, too, seek a place for their creations and are eager to attend the inventor conventions that are held regularly to present their ideas, such as these motorized ski boots that may have stepped right out of the latest James Bond film.
Let's see how many staplers.
Somewhat simpler, perhaps, is the color-coded see-through stapler, an invention, nevertheless, that may have taken a lifetime to perfect.
do is start to sing.
In response to environmental concerns, this gentleman here has contributed a cigarette pack with its own built-in ashtray. Just smoke and store away the butts. Babies all over the world may one day owe an everlasting debt to these Korean gentlemen, who are here introducing their new and improved baby bottle.
So that's why we invented this bottle. Touch like a mom's bosom. We invented this new baby bottle for baby's satisfaction. So that's why we improved. And we
A long way from the light bulb, it's still a bright idea. To many Americans, nothing measures success like the size of a car. Cadillacs and Lincolns, already enormous, are now routinely modified in body shops like these into gigantic stretch limousines. The process is quite easy. The car, stripped of its interior, is simply sawed in half. The front and rear sections are then separated or stretched, making room for a completely new customized midsection, the size of which will ultimately determine the overall length of the car. When done, this new midsection is carefully welded into place, creating a stretch limousine that can be as long as 40 feet. With a price tag of close to $100,000, one might think that stretch limos are only for rock stars and politicians, but that is not the case. Here in New York, for instance, a pressured young businessman looking for a little relaxation need only reach for his trusty cellular phone. Business becomes pleasure. And pleasure business, for limousines have also modernized the oldest profession in the world. The streetwalker of yore now plies her trade from the back of a 40-foot stretch. Discreetly tinted windows naturally provide the necessary element of privacy.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
Advertisements for these limousine and escort services are now found in most daily newspapers and telephone directories.
Yeah, I do a lot of business. Here you go.
Thank you very much.
Your credit card?
Wonderful.
The entire encounter is completely professional and efficient, including the method of payment. All major credit cards are now accepted. The arrangements seem to please everyone involved. For the man, the limo adds the extra thrill of knowing that the entire encounter takes place surrounded by people in the midst of city traffic. For the working lady, the limo provides an efficient and safe workplace, with the chauffeur serving as a bodyguard and armed escort. In fast-paced cities like New York, where time is money, these new stretch limos of love are proving to be enormously popular with tourists and residents alike. In the ghettos of America, however, money is hard to come by. Neighborhood banks, their economic base crumbling, are desperate to attract new depositors, and some have resorted to wild promotions in their search for new money. Here in Newark, New Jersey, the Commercial Trust and Savings Bank recently offered their clients perhaps one of the most bizarre premiums.
Account, and what we do is we offer several premiums. I don't know, maybe you've seen it, but behind us we have 2 VCRs, a Sony color television set, a sound system, a great clock right there, coffee maker, yogurt maker. You can have your choice.
How about the CB?
Oh. How about the Ruger?
Ruger?
The Ruger?
Okay. Yeah.
The Ruger? Oh, great. Excellent choice. This is a great premium. I would take it myself, believe me. Look, this is excellent. You can handle it. Look at the weight. Handle it. It's an excellent weight, excellent gun. 6 shooters, police shooter.
Yeah.
It's great. You couldn't make a better choice.
Good protection.
It is good protection.
Right.
And in these times, you need it. Okay. So the Ruger it is?
Ruger.
The Ruger. Great.
As Newark is an area with an extremely high crime rate, the bank felt that guns might attract more customers and be more useful than coffee makers or blenders. And right they were.
It's your premium and you'll receive it within a week.
A month or so after the promotion began, surveillance cameras in the bank recorded the following all too familiar scene. Irony of ironies, the police later determined that one of the guns used in the robbery had actually been given away by the bank. Crime does not pay. In America, however, it does offer some compensations.
Sorry, sir. It's 10 after 2 right now. We've been waiting so long.
Here in this Long Island penitentiary, the authorities have attempted to make prison life more civilized and enjoyable. These inmates are now permitted regular visits by lady friends, wives, and even paid companions. Under the legal pretext of humane consideration, these robbers, rapists, and murderers are given a weekend pass to spend with their chosen partner. Once a month, a security van drives the lucky couples far from prison walls for a much-needed change of pace at a recreational facility maintained by the state for these conjugal visits.
There's no doubt you're in deep. Your throat is tight. You can't breathe.
Anticipation runs high as the van at last arrives at its destination, a complex of luxurious cottages with all the comforts of home. Prison life certainly has its unusual aspects. one of the most bizarre results from a new trend popular among some American teenage girls. At one point, girls like these might have pursued a rock star or a young politician. Now, in a chilling perversion of the groupie syndrome, girls compete for the affections of a dangerous criminal. Somehow, incarcerated men seem to be strangely attractive to many women. The actress Sue Lyons dropped her entire film career to marry a convicted Arizona killer. James Earl Ray, the assassin of Martin Luther King, actually married his female attorney. And when the recently executed mass murderer Ted Bundy stood trial, the courtroom was filled with giggling girl groupies. Relationships usually begin with a series of letters exchanged between the girl and her chosen prisoner. If the attraction is mutual, a wedding ceremony is then scheduled. As it is here, in this case in Florida, at the Jackson County Correctional Facility, where 16-year-old Christine, who requested her full name not be disclosed, is about to marry Steve, a felon convicted on 9 counts of manslaughter and aggravated assault.
You, Christine, take this man to be your lawful wedded husband.
I do.
Do you, Steve, take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife?
Yeah.
And by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife. The ring, please. And I kiss the bride.
A special cell is improvised as the prison honeymoon suite. Connecticut. Here on the bank of the Housatonic River is the Last Post, a most unusual retirement home, a luxurious retreat for rich felines. Here, some 400 to 500 cats live in a state of blissful leisure. But then, these are certainly not your average tomcat. Most of these felines are independently wealthy. Some, in their prime, were paid thousands as stars of cat food commercials. Others inherited money, which was left in trust for their perpetual care.
Friskies, didn't you? There you go, Sambo. Come on in. Here we go. Come on. Oh, wow. Breakfast time. Now go wash your paws.
One particular cat, called Fat Bertha, was left well over $12 million. Relatives naturally contested the will, but an out-of-court settlement was reached. The relatives took 8, and Bertha got the rest, over $4 million. To this day, she won't eat from anything but silver. The cats are cared for by a dedicated staff of cat lovers. They are fed, exercised, and played with. Every whim is catered to. Special favorites of the cats are nature and boating trips.
Getting your claws into Mr. Right.
In addition to healthy outdoor activities, the felines are treated to television cartoons, great cat literature, and private music lessons.
Which is attracted to each. You may be surprised at the results of the quiz.
Okay, now you just do what Mommy does. Very good, very good. You want to sing along?
The retirement home holds a special attraction for cat fanatics, and visitors are always welcome. Those staying for dinner, however, should be prepared for a most unusual dining experience. The millionaire cats, of course, always come first, and they are permitted to roam freely across the dinner table. And if anyone plans to eat anything, they'd better eat fast.
Another toast to our bountiful table and to all our guests that make it complete.
This is Manhattan. This is Manhattan, the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, the world's largest Gothic structure, and the scene, once a year, of a unique celebration. On the Feast of St. Francis, the cathedral doors are opened wide to animals of all kinds. As thousands of parishioners watch, the bishop leads a modern-day Noah's Ark of the animal kingdom into the cathedral. In a magnificent service honoring St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of all animals, the elephant, the camel, the llama, the snake, all creatures great and small, gather at the altar to be greeted and blessed by the bishop. The blessing affirms that we are all part of a natural, divine order, and that is reason to rejoice. At last, the service concludes. A magnificent affirmation of a reverence for all living things. Throughout America, operating from clandestine locations, there are today a number of highly covert schools that have given cause for considerable alarm. Claiming to offer courses in corporate security or executive protection, these schools teach, in reality, a grim course of murder and mayhem to students who, for the most part, do not seem to fit the profile of executive bodyguards.
This particular one called an
The instructors, some of them CIA dropouts, provide a thorough grounding in the latest weapons available worldwide and demonstrate firsthand a variety of basic assault techniques.
Always keep the weapon pointed at him so you know everybody's dead. Never take your eyes off of him.
On a daily basis, the students are thoroughly drilled in the use of automatic weapons until they acquire deadly proficiency in their handling.
Live gun! I'm here to teach you the science of killing. If elevated to its proper perspective, one might even say the art of killing.
Every technique, every method of assassination is carefully studied.
Hands and the feet. But to use a weapon properly, you have to understand the target areas. Probably one of the most efficient and easiest to reach is the bridge of the nose. Against this, we use the butt area of the hand, driving upward into the bottom of the nose, breaking the bridge, the cartilage here, and driving it directly into the brain. This will facilitate instantaneous death. This section is about cold killing.
In a section called Cold Killing, emphasis is placed on the use of simple but deadly weapons when conventional firearms are not available to do the job.
The best coming from behind, and you always should approach from behind if you have that opportunity, grabbing the mouth to keep them from screaming, jerk their head to one side. You thrust the ice pick up into the brain. Once you've got it in there, scramble around before you pull it out. You want to wreck everything inside that you possibly can. Be creative. Be simple. Use the materials at hand. Dry ice.
Unusual means of assassination, or dirty tricks as they are called in the CIA, offer a frightening glimpse into a world of which few people are aware.
6-8 hours while they're sleeping, the result is death. No traces, no odors. Death is always attributed to natural causes. The stun gun, 50,000 volts. Not designed to be lethal, but designed to instantly incapacitate. As a matter of fact, electrocution can be used in many ways.
Assassination techniques employed by other intelligence services like the KGB are carefully studied, such as the hot wiring of a simple urinal, an old favorite in Eastern Europe.
The urinal. The minute the victim comes in to take a leak and his stream hits the urinal, it makes contact, closes the circuit, and he'll sizzle like a piece of Canadian bacon. We've got a little piece of film that'll show you the effectiveness of this technique. Another quite effective device we have is made from common household items.
The most disturbing and frightening part of the curriculum teaches students how ordinary objects can be transformed into deadly time bombs.
You'd be surprised what a light bulb full of gasoline can do once the switch is turned on. We'll give you a demonstration in the next room. We'll use the desk lamp for this because that would be the closest place to him and at the same level as his face. The common fire extinguisher can be used as a very effective weapon in a variety of ways. You can simply hold the victim using the nozzle to suffocate the victim with this carbon dioxide. You arm it the same way as we do the grenades, by pulling out the pin. Then when it's fired, you use the CO2. You can replace the bell
with a piece of pipe. There's 120 pounds of pressure in the tank, enough to propel most projectiles that you would use in the pipe. One of the suggestions that we make is to take C4, roll it in zirconium, and fire it through a plastic pipe. That gives you an exploding bullet. The first thing you do is get the case off of the telephone. Place the tone generator in a little space right behind the disconnectors. The plastique can be mashed up and placed any place that it'll fit in comfortably. The tone generator is connected to the wire to the detonator, and the last wire will be connected to the hot wire coming from the phone. Move back from the table and I'll make the final connections and give you a demonstration.
Yes, Jones here.
This method is particularly effective for dignitaries or other high-profile targets that you can't get close to because of their own security. Take the microphone from a podium wherever they're going to speak. You remove the end cap and the internal mechanisms. Place the igniter into the plastique, mashing it in completely. Put the components back in, screw the cap on, snap it in, aim it in the proper direction, and you're set. This is a variation on the poopy cushion trick, but the results are a little more permanent. We'll substitute a homemade Claymore mine. It has a contact detonator with a 3-second delay fuse. Place it in a hollowed out area in the chair. When the victim goes to sit down, boom. Placement first, you have to decide what your objective is.
The art of mayhem is taught under the guise of preventing violence and fighting terrorism, of learning what to expect from the bad guys. But the question naturally remains, to what ends and to what purpose the students will put all of their newfound skills.
Once you've hooked up the ignition wire and they turn on the ignition, it closes the circuit, and bang goes your C4.
At one time, America was one of the most puritanical countries in the world. But today, much of that has changed. Inspired by notorious sex scenes from hit Hollywood movies, such as Risky Business, No Way Out, and New York Nights, many young couples today act out their own versions in the most unusual and unlikely places. And sex in America, once private, has truly gone public. Trend, far more grotesque, has emerged. One that issues from the darkness of the city nights, from the danger and death that pervade them. The morgue of a great city is a forbidding place. Cold and uncaring, it receives the remains of the unclaimed, the unknown, the unloved. Here are delivered the bodies of the night's nameless victims. Unknown in death as in life, most of these bodies will disappear in anonymous graves. Certain members of the American funeral industry, however, are prepared to pay quite well for some of these nameless victims. And pallid moon, these men depart the world of reason and self-denial. They pass through the gateway into a realm where love and death are as one. preservation of the body begins with embalming, a distinctly American custom. First, the body and the arteries are drained of all blood and fluids using a high-powered suction device. In the cemetery, the dead seem to call out to those who tread above. The veins are opened once again. Now embalming fluids will flow into the body, making it warm, soft, and pliable. Images of the dead carved in stone, the fragile, tender rose, awaken forbidden desires. The earth of a newly made resting place may be the dust of beauties departed. The chill of life's transience seems to rise from the clinging moisture of freshly turned earth and its evocative, dark fragrance. In the calm of the mortuary, the master has practiced his art. Beauty has been reborn, preserved from oblivion. She is adorned for the ritual hour. The lover awaits. Powders and rouges impart the hues of roses and blood. The moment draws near. The serenity of the coffin will frame her fragile beauty. When the hour has struck, the suitors of death enter the house of the beloved. His task complete, the matchmaker of death presents his masterpiece. Indulging these passions is a costly affair. The mortician is the procurer of death. He is paid both for his work and for his silence. What occurs in this chamber, witnessed only by waiting coffins, is not his concern. The beauty of death is overwhelming. Seeing no wrong in their macabre desires, these men permitted this film depiction of their perverse rapture as an invitation to those who might only imagine and never act on their secret longings. Sweet is death, who comes like a lover. This is the American South, rich in history, rich in culture, an area to which, years ago, Africans brought much of their heritage and traditions. Through the centuries, many of their customs have remained unchanged, including one which is little known, referred to by scholars as geophagy. To those who continue the custom, it is known as eating dirt. And today, it is still widely practiced. The eating of dirt dates back thousands of years. Even the ancient Greeks described it in their writings and often used it to counter illnesses and poisons.
I like it, Mama. Not quite, Mama. Not quite. It's a little sour. But it tastes good. You have to dig down to get the good stuff anyway.
The practice appears to be most prevalent among Southern women, some of whom are known at times to eat about a handful a day.
Let's look around. Hey, there's a spot. Let's try over there.
All right, let's try it over here. I thought that was good, Mama.
Not just any dirt will do. It has to be dug from the right place and should have a rich, pleasing flavor. Such locations are found primarily along the southern riverbanks. Frequent trips are made to gather dirt in jars or bags, to be enjoyed at home or to be shipped to distant relatives. The big cities of the North are now home to many Southern blacks. Though less widespread, the eating of dirt is here too still a popular custom, thanks to relatives down south and the U.S. Postal Service.
Look, Mom. Look what we got. Well, is this? I can see what this is.
Sometimes, when genuine dirt is not available, some women have been known to eat cornstarch or baking soda as a temporary substitute.
Get dirt like that here. You just can't get it.
No, it sure is good.
Everyone has their own special recipe. In some cases, the dirt is mixed with molasses and seasoned with herbs and spices to make a delicious glaze for a baked Virginia ham. Combined with oil and vinegar, it is also used as an ingredient for a vinaigrette-type salad dressing. Sometimes dirt is blended with sugar and baked to make a very special tart.
What we got coming? The ham. Watch yourself, Charlotte. Look at that. Isn't that pretty and nice?
Why, to this very day, millions of people continue to eat dirt remains somewhat of a mystery, except for the fact that people genuinely seem to crave the texture and taste. Medical anthropologists note that chemical investigations of dirt samples have turned up no evidence that the eating of dirt is in any way harmful. Extreme overindulgence, however, may cause problems. The dirt can line the intestine and clog the colon, resulting in severe constipation. But all that may be a small price to pay for this popular and authentic Southern tradition. Here in Boston, not far from Harvard University, is the private townhouse of Professor William Jameson, a noted entomologist. To most people, the world of insects is abhorrent and repulsive. To Professor Jameson, however, this world holds the answer to one of our planet's most urgent problems.
If we would stop trying to find ways to eliminate these creatures and spend that money in researching insects as a source of edible protein, then we would have something.
To promote and popularize his somewhat controversial ideas, Professor Jameson has established a society of culinary adventurers, and from time to time, they gather at the professor's townhouse for a highly unusual brunch. The buffet table features a tropical motif. Exotic insects are displayed, such as these giant roaches from the Amazon basin, and others that are specially flown in for the occasion. Mixed with these exotic live creatures, the table offers a variety of specially prepared gourmet appetizers, such as beetle quiche, mantis crepes, cricket on pomegranate. There are pâtés, a larva mousse, and a dazzling variety of Malaysian bug sautés. A taste sensation that is a far cry from Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, and McDonald's. The Society is an eclectic and courageous group of scientists, bored socialites, and some who are just game to try anything. A chef trained by Professor Jameson prepares recipes collected from around the world.
European house crickets, sauteed in sesame oil.
A nouvelle cuisine definitely not for the squeamish.
These crickets can be served over saffron rice.
The fact is that insects have been eaten since biblical times, and today, still throughout much of the world, they are both a dietary staple as well as a gourmet delicacy.
Mmm, terrific. Mmm, kind of crunchy.
Delicacies that first appeared on the tables of the princes of Thailand are these giant water bugs.
He's really perfected this.
And they're used here to make a special omelet. Nutritious and an excellent source of protein, the flavor of the giant water bug is fairly strong and somewhat reminiscent of a good gorgonzola cheese.
Okay, we have a water bug and scallion omelet. We have domestic water bugs.
To critics and to the squeamish, Professor Jameson replies that we already happily eat, and in large quantities, shrimp, crab, and lobster, biologically virtually identical to insects.
Here we have tomato horn caterpillars from Brazil.
Caterpillar tempura is prepared Japanese style.
Think you're looking good, huh?
Twice as much. What we have here is a maggot mousse with legumes and cream.
The members of the society, all true culinary adventurers, look forward to the new taste sensations created for them.
It's really good.
This exotic, daring cuisine, at this point certainly for most people still difficult to swallow, may one day take its place among America's contributions to the culinary arts. And Professor Jameson and his chef may one day even receive a 3- or 4-star Michelin rating.
Pineapple sorbet.
One of America's proudest achievements has been the conquest of space. Here at the Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, people come to relive many of the great moments of triumph. The giant leaps for mankind. The center also offers a unique space training camp, a chance for children from all over the United States to follow in the footsteps of their heroes, the astronaut adventurers. On a simulated moon base, they work at the tasks of space discovery and hope and dream. Dream of the day they too may set foot into space. In Space Camp, for a week or so, children train on the same equipment that prepared real American astronauts, like this multi-axis simulator. A space shuttle cargo bay is the setting for simulated satellite repairs in outer space. GM manned maneuvering units and 5DF, or 5-degree freedom chairs, let children experience the sensations of altered weight and mobility during spacewalk tasks. The high point of the program is always Space Shuttle Mission Day. This is what Space Camp is all about. The rocket launch that these kids have been dreaming about is underway. And in the excitement of approaching blastoff,
T-minus 15.
it is difficult to tell the difference between make-believe and the real thing.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour.
Not far away, hidden deep in the hills of southern Georgia, is another kind of camp, a much more old-fashioned one. These boys here are getting ready for a much more traditional day of summer activities.
I love this camp.
This is one of a number of camps run by the American Ku Klux Klan, where young white boys are exposed to all the Klan's doctrines of hate and white supremacy.
We pledge our allegiance.
We pledge our allegiance
To all our white Christian brothers.
to all our white Christian brothers
And to the New South.
and to the New South.
One nation.
One nation.
Under God.
Under God.
Indivisible.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all white people.
With liberty and justice for all white people.
My young white brothers, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are not created equal. We all know that niggers are stupid and lazy. And them Latinos, them spick wetbacks, they are overrunning our country. They are shiftless roaches, illegals, communists. Therefore, we must remember that we are the true children of Christ. Stay awake.
Stay awake.
Be smart.
Be smart.
And be ready.
Be ready.
White power.
White power.
In addition to impassioned speeches and patriotic appeals, the boys get a healthy dose of athletic activities and rugged programs in self-defense.
Same boy. Come over here. All right. Like a nigga coming after your mom. Come on. Come on. Get that nigga, boy. White power! White power! That's right. Good.
Combat and target practice prepare the youngsters for the day of final conflict, as prophesied by the Klan, the war between the races.
Step up here. You boy, you a man. You gonna take that boy down now? Come on now. Take him. Come on. Let's get him. Let's get him. Let's take him.
Indoctrination is direct and unrelenting, using long discredited theories of racial superiority.
That's right. In the book of Genesis, the Bible says that Cain was driven out of the Garden of Eden, and they were, from that day forward, marked, and their faces were black. Over here, we got some pictures for you. Look at these skulls here. We got a Greek, that's a Caucasian white person's skull, then a Creole Negro, and then the skull of a young chimpanzee. Now you tell me something. Which of these skulls looks more like the skull of a monkey? That's right. Here's some other pictures over here. We got pictures of a gorilla, pictures of a Saharan Negro, and an Algerian Negro. If you ask me, they all look like monkeys.
At last the night arrives that all have waited for. Summer is over, and so is camp. These boys will leave, but not as children, because soon they are to become Klansmen, with all that implies.
Be proud. Be wise.
This, then, is the final initiation.
Be strong. Have courage, boy. And you, little fella, you, be big inside. Be strong. When I look into your eyes, I have hope for tomorrow. Now is the time for us to take up the crosses of victory.
In the north, parts of many cities already seem to be victims of a war. Populated by the poor, these desperate streets have become battlegrounds. Children here grow up angry and turn easily to violence. Weapons take the place of toys. Most children have guns by the age of 12. Drugs have become a way of life, unleashing a plague of crime and violence that has virtually annihilated society. Some neighborhoods, however, are trying to reclaim the streets and are fighting back. Residents have set up programs called Neighborhood Watch. With an improvised and makeshift surveillance system of old televisions and monitors, they keep a constant eye on buildings, laundry rooms, streets, and hallways, while volunteers patrol the streets, ready for trouble. One late night, some time ago, the program here was witnessed in action.
BMW and everything magazine. No, says you got the radio. Now buy the car. That's sick. That's sick.
Hey, hey. Hey, in the mailroom. Everybody in the mailroom. Come on. Get your ass out here. Hey, 30, got four guys. Wanna rape somebody? Do it!
Most of America's larger cities record a frightening murder rate, counted officially in multiples of thousands annually. Unofficially, the rates may be much higher, as in many cases, such as the one here, deaths are recorded as an accident, a simple casualty in the crossfire of urban war.
Skies for amber waves of grain, a purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining